Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna, and this is Heather. We are here with you making Proddy flowers. So we've got you up on the ladder since I forgot the phone holder, and I did this one other time with Heather. I still have the beginning of that video. We could hear the kids really well in that video because they were playing right there, not quietly. So Proddy flowers are, let me show this again in case you weren't watching Coffee Time with us just now. Proddy flowers are when you take wool pieces. Where'd that little, yeah, Heather's got tons of Proddy flowers right here. And you're putting them in. Now the order is gonna matter, right? You just gave me a great tip about when to put your Proddy flowers in. But what you're doing basically is you're hooking part of your composition and you're pulling through shaped pieces. Same thing, like you're hooking, but just they're shaped like this to make different styles of leaves or petals for your Proddy flowers. So, having said that, let me start at the beginning, right? That's always a good place to start. With your, I've got a little frame out, but you can also use a hoop. And the good thing about hoops is if you have a lot of hoops or a bag of hoops, like you've got, you can also use them as your frame. So you could just clean up the back, sew it, tighten it up, whatever, glue it, whatever, to put it right on the wall. You've already got your frame. I'm gonna do some hooking. I think I'm just gonna do the floral part, like the center parts with the petals. And then I'll probably cut them off and whatever, but this is a good chance to use scraps of backing that are really no good for anything else. So I'm gonna put mine on my frame, same as always, stretching it as tight as a drum and getting ready to do some Proddy action. So what do you think, Heather? I'll just draw my flower on there first?
Absolutely.
All right. So
you just need to draw the center of it, really.
Yeah, just the center.
And if you're gonna hook the leaves.
All right. I'm gonna do a big center like this. I shouldn't have put it right in the middle, right? I could have done a lot more by putting it over here. That was stupid, huh? That was stupid. I think I'm gonna give it a flipperoonie because now I can fit maybe 3 flowers on here.
You could.
Now, how much do you think you need for seam allowance, like when you cut it out? Did you zigzag around the edge of it or whatever?
I didn't zigzag around mine because I'm not cutting mine out. I'm keeping mine in the hoop.
Right.
So I did not do that.
How about when you did your sunflowers on the wreath?
When I did my sunflowers, I did not zigzag around them. I used glue.
Ah, that's right.
I used glue.
All right.
But I would say maybe zigzag around the edge of the center, I don't know, maybe an inch or 2.
Okay.
Because you need the space around the centers.
Yeah.
You need the space around the centers to put in your petals.
Okay, so you need like a little radius, like a little halo.
not super close to the center.
Yeah.
Maybe an inch outside of the center.
Because those leaves are going to fill in a lot.
Yeah, the pieces will definitely fill in.
All right, so first thing we're going to do is, I got my circles are a bit oblong. Now you could do any shape, right? You could do total oblongs. They don't have to, and they could really be almost touching if I'm going to zigzag around them later. Absolutely. Before I cut them. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide, we found this nice one that was in the stash that was like dyed with silk ties. If you can see, it's all patterned. So I think I'm going to use that for my petals.
I love that one.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you do, these are all, because these are poinsettias, but you could do it. So I'm not doing it yet. I'm just hooking the center, but I'm just projecting forward. You could do it so there was multicolored leaves, right?
Absolutely.
So you could have more than one layer of leaves.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Then you'd want to be thinking about that. Like, do I want, out of my scrap bag I've got here, do I want like this and, you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
Top layer, bottom
absolutely.
layer.
When I did my sunflowers, I did multiple colors.
They were really
for the petals.
Yeah. They were gorgeous. So you know what I think I'm going to do for my first one, and I'll edit this video later. I think I'm going to use these 2 colors for my first poinsettia for the leaves. So on the inside, I think I might do yarn. I think I might hook with yarn. So I'm going to choose one, maybe this one. Is that crazy? Is that too monochromatic?
Why not?
Maybe I'll go for that. This one's real pretty too, though.
That's very pretty. Yes.
Dang. I think I'm going to do a combo of some light ones. Maybe I'll do these two in the center.
Absolutely.
And then we'll see how that goes. So first step I'm going to do is hook. Do you have any tips that you want to give while I start my hookings? Now you gave me a great tip right now, but should we save it for later? Put you on the spot.
About the clip?
Yeah.
Not the clip.
Yeah.
I'll do that after.
You're gonna do that later.
When I did my centers, I sort of did them random. And also when we did the sunflowers, you and I together, we did the center of the circles higher, the loops higher.
Oh.
So we gave it a little bit of shape, which sort of harkens back to what you were discussing.
That was
on coffee
really
time,
important. Yeah.
making it shaped. So I didn't do it on these. I didn't do it on these ones. But the loops in the center, I put up higher to give it a little bit of a cone shape.
Yeah, like a Waldoboro.
Yeah, exactly. So on the outside they would be a little bit shorter, and as you go into the center, especially with a big center like that, you know, with the smaller centers that I did, it's not so noticeable.
I agree. I completely forgot about that touch.
Yes.
That your sunflowers were very sort of convex,
Yes.
right? They
Yes.
were really big and fat and tall in the center, and then they rounded down.
Yes.
And you did that by pulling up different loop heights.
Yes.
You could also do that by doing Waldoboro, right? Pull through tons and tons of yarn, or maybe I'll do that with one of these, tons and tons, and then just trim it until you get exactly the right feel. Real pom-pom look at that point. That would work too.
Absolutely. And I have another thing to show you that's going to go back to the...
Go back to the Waldoboro.
Yes, absolutely. It just so happened that I was doing something yesterday and I knew absolutely nothing about Waldoboro, so it was very ironic that you were talking about it today. Because I thought,
Destiny.
Hey. All right.
Well, I'm going to do this.
Do you mind if I start pulling some of the petals through?
No, start pulling some of the petals through, because you're at a totally different stage than I am.
So this is the second one that I started. Even though these are completed and you can see the Proddy, how they have dimension to them, I absolutely do not like this. So I started a different one.
What don't you like about that one?
What don't I like about it? I just think it's just too busy.
Oh, I see.
It's just too busy.
But you know what? It's a
That's what I think.
Christmas piece.
Yes. And this actually is going to stay in the frame. So I'm going to cut the edges and just hang it. So that's what it's going to be. I wasn't worried about the edges or anything. So I sort of hooked all the way to the edge of the frame with this one. But with this one, I'm not going to do that. I am also going to keep this one in the frame. I'll probably just move the hook of the frame to the top so that I can hang it. But what I did was I discovered that when you're doing Proddy, you want to do the background first.
That's a good tip.
You save the end to pull in the leaves, because the leaves or the petals, because you don't want to have to work around them. It's a pain in the neck. But I did learn a little hack.
Yeah.
I did learn
so
a
in
little
other
hack.
words, just to make a really important point, it was like a pig's breakfast when you had to pull them through and then you had to work around them.
I started with the poinsettias and I had the petals in, and so working around them to lift them a little bit, to make them come away from the fabric.
Yeah.
If you hook the background color really close to them,
Okay.
it lifts them.
Really? Okay.
It lifts them.
I see, because you're getting height right behind them,
Yes.
so you're
It
pushing
pushes them
up
up.
those big leaves.
And actually, you can do several layers of the petals around
yeah.
to give it more fullness.
You just have to leave room.
I didn't, but
Okay.
you certainly can.
Oh, I see. But when you have action right next to them, it does the same job.
It lifts them up.
Lifts them up.
So I
So
did.
this is just a real plus to, instead of doing an independent poinsettia like I am, that's a real plus having a background.
Absolutely.
Because it looks snowy. You have your opportunity to put colors in like that. It's like a little snow globe action going on. And the leaves are already jumping up off the piece because the loops under them are supporting them so well. So that's a great strategy too.
And I could have hooked this on a square frame like you did.
Yeah.
And do the circular shape of my hoop.
Yeah.
And I would have been able to get it really much closer to the edge of the hoop. So
I think I better use a real circle. So one tip might be, don't trust yourself to draw a circle. No matter how many years of art school you had, don't do it. Just do something like this. Dunkin' Donuts, it's good for so many things. There we go. Done. So now what stage are you on with piece number 2?
So piece number 2, I'm going to start pulling some of the petals through. Now, when I did the petals, I didn't draw a pattern. You could draw a pattern.
You did some different shapes though.
I made it a little bit, I wanted them to be kind of random.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be kind of random. You don't want it to be too narrow in the center.
Oh.
Because when you pull it through, it's going to slide.
Ooh,
You know,
okay.
I made that mistake with some of these.
Okay.
You know, you can see on some of them
they're too narrow. Which one's
they're
that
a little
one's
bit
too
narrow in the center. This one, you want them to be a little bit fatter.
Interesting.
And the poinsettias are that pointy shape, so they were pretty easy. I'm trying something different with having it being super fat in the middle, so we're going to try that and see how that goes.
Let's see if that works. Now, when you say it slides through, it wants to like fall out?
It's pulling through, yeah.
Huh.
So it's a little bit difficult because it's so wide to start it, but I start as close to the center as I can.
Oh, I see. As close to the finished part.
As close to the center of the flower as I can.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to be able to do it because
the camera's on.
That would make sense. And then I start to pull, and you just got to kind of wiggle it. There is a Proddy tool.
Oh yeah, there is a Proddy tool.
There is a Proddy tool. I do not have a Proddy tool.
They'll sell you anything, won't they? I bet there's a lot of things that are Proddy tools.
So I'm just kind of pulling it through with my fingers. I don't pull it all the way through with my hook.
Yeah. Now, do you think this one's too thick or it's coming through okay?
No, it's fine.
Good.
It's fine. So I just sort of manipulate it a little bit.
Now, you know, you are on burlap, right?
I don't know if it's burlap or linen, to be honest
Okay, it
with you.
might be the white linen. Yeah, you're right. Because you have a nice open weave there. I'm anticipating more trouble with this guy because the monk's cloth is so tight.
It might be. When I started this, the sunflowers were my first project, by the way.
God, they were so good.
So,
They were
I learned
good.
on monk's cloth that I got from you, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good.
So when you pull the first side, the second one, I skip a couple spots and then pull the second one through because I'm going to sort of alternate them.
Interesting. So you pull through one leaf, and then you jump a couple,
and then you can adjust
and you pull the other leaf through.
Then I pull the other petal.
Wow.
And you can adjust them.
Okay. You fool with them once they're up there.
Depending.
Yeah.
Now, when I pull through another one, I want to go through the same spot as one of the previous petals.
Okay.
Because they hold each other in.
Oh my gosh.
When you're pulling loops, you have two thicknesses.
Yeah.
To hold your.
Now, what will be in the center? Will anything ever be in the center, or it just gets closed up because of pushing on the other sides? Like when you say you skipped a couple of spots, will something ever fill those two spots?
It might. I might pull something through there. If it looks like it's bare, I'll pull something through that spot.
Okay.
But you kind of want two pieces together.
Wow, they're standing up great.
So you can manipulate them.
And they're right up against
them.
They're right up against the center too. That looks really good. It's all in the placement, right? You place them right. She placed them right next to the center loops.
Absolutely.
That's really good.
I angle my hook when I go down so it comes right under everything.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that
could be something.
Makes a difference in when you're pulling it through.
Well, if it's superstitious and it's working, you might as well keep doing it, right?
And honestly, if I don't like the placement, I just pull them back through.
That is a good thing.
I spend a lot of time pulling things out. So you can sort of adjust it. You can play with it. You want some to pull out a little farther, some to go in a little farther. I'm going to try these. I cut some that were they look like a single leaf.
No, they don't have a center.
They don't have a center, but I'm just going to try it and see how they do.
All right, see how that goes.
So I'm going on the other side. I'm going in the same hole as one of the previous petals, because you kind of want two thicknesses to keep the petals where they are.
It doesn't look like, even though you're going into the same holes with them, it seems like they would be rubbing on each other and becoming ratty, but they're not.
They aren't.
No, they still look really pristine. So what I'm doing, just at this very early stage of my center, I think I made the center too big, but now I'm in. So it is what it is. There have to be gigantic leaves to compensate. But I'm going around the second circle, right? remember how we just said it's good if it's like convex, if it's puffed up a little bit? So my second time around, I'm pulling quite a bit higher than the first time. And every time around, I'm gonna pull a little bit higher till I get to the center, and I got a quite high center. Pretty pom-pommy and poofy.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Seeing how we go as we go along.
And now that you said that about them getting a little ratty, they are.
Oh, see, I shouldn't have said it. Superstitions.
Well, I think because you're cutting them at an angle, you know, to make the petal shape,
Exactly.
they're gonna have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so that one's sort of,
But you can always shape it again, right?
absolutely.
If it pulls through and it's getting a little ratty and you have a few little extra threads that look all hairy and, you know, not perfect, then you just trim them once the flower's done.
Absolutely.
Trim everything nice and clean.
All right, so this is the one that was the single. And you have to pull it through with your fingers to get it back through, I mean.
Okay, you really gotta work it.
I'm not sure if a Proddy tool eliminates that problem or not.
Well,
so.
I'm guessing, you know, Proddy's been around for a while.
So this is the single shape. It's actually fine.
Yeah, it looks great.
And the fact that
Looks
it's
good.
thicker in the center, I may not have to put two in that spot.
Ooh.
So there we go.
So that'll be different. Every time you pull a leaf
So-
through, you know, you can make the decision, do I want to pull another one or does it look the way I want it to look already?
I mean, if you want it really tightly anchored, this seems to work. This
Okay,
seems to work well.
So using a leaf that doesn't have a center, that, you know, the mustache versus just the leaf,
Yep.
the regular leaf works well too.
It's
So see, there's no wrong way. If you had time and you just were sitting around, fooling around with shapes, experimenting with different shapes on your backing, sit there at your frame, just cut different shapes, pull different things through and see what works. That would actually be a good use of time. Right?
absolutely.
And that would be really fun.
Absolutely. And you can use a lot of your scraps doing all kinds of flowers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, I wonder if you could cross over, not to be sacrilegious, but I wonder if you could cross over and just use regular felt if you had it, just for the
you
flower
could.
petals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice
Absolutely.
to use the really fancy wools and stuff, but if you're a beginner and you don't have a ton of extra scrappies or anything right now, maybe, you know, you want to work the background in yarn or in the wool strips that you do have, and maybe you just want to go to the craft store and get some wool sheets to do, felt sheets to do the leaf parts, because they certainly
Absolutely.
wouldn't fray.
Absolutely.
That would work too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they seem to, you know, like I said, you have to work it through a little bit. You know, it's especially with the monk's cloth. I think when you get to pulling them through the petals, they're going to be a little bit wonky
Yeah.
to try and pull them through.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to monkey
You got to
with
work it. You
Yeah.
got to work it.
Monkey factor, monk's
And
cloth.
it gives you a little bit of
Gives you a reason to complain about carpal tunnel.
absolutely. Yeah, you know what? I really like these that I just cut with the single because it's giving them a lot of body.
Wow, they are.
See,
They
this
are.
one right here, it's giving it a little bit of body, so it's cupping up toward you.
They is looking
I like
lovely.
that better.
That
I
looks
like that better.
fantastic.
And it's definitely got enough body that's gonna stay in that spot, so I don't have to hook another petal into that same spot.
So that's a good solution, because when you see Proddy, you always see the mustache shapes.
Yes.
So it just goes to show, you know, we're all about breaking rules on this channel or trying something different. Because you know the rule. The rule is most people will show you a template that looks like the mustache shape, but we're finding in terms of, well, you're doing a quite small flower, at least for sure with the small flower, when you don't do the mustache shape and you just go for this basic leaf shape, it's still coming out great and it's giving it great structure. So, yeah,
And
you
I
don't know
play
till you
with
try.
it from the front and from the back.
All right,
To
yeah.
try and,
You just gotta fool and fiddle
Yeah,
with it
and you
until
can-
it looks right.
you know, I mean, with the poinsettia, not all the leaves and the petals are the same size.
True,
So
true.
you can slide them and adjust them. And this was only 1, 2, 3. This is only 4 pieces
Wow,
in this poinsettia.
that's crazy.
So I mean,
Super
I
full.
can get quite a bit of.
It's nice to do the poinsettias because,
Yeah.
you know, that's so cute. They're red, they're pink, they're sometimes like pistachio green, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about the dyed ones that are just crazy colors.
I
Any
think
colors.
I'm going to cut some green actual leaves for the poinsettia because they'll be the same. And these were blazers yesterday
Oh my gosh!
from Goodwill.
Today they're having a
I
renaissance.
cut my blazers apart.
As you should. Who's that little stuff? Come on in, little stuff.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording, but you can come in. You can get your mask off. Jess was over at the gas station, Gassies, picking out some garbage?
What'd you get? Something good?
I got a protein bar and
Oh, good.
mega stuffed Oreo.
Oh, mega stuffed Oreos to offset the protein bar.
Yummy.
They have good stuff over there, like bugle chips, otherwise known as nail extensions, and Pringles,
But,
otherwise known as
I
duck
also-
bills, and pretzel rods, otherwise known as cigars. But you got a protein bar. You were a good girl.
And mega stuffed Oreos and a little drink.
Nice job.
Oh.
So that didn't work.
Just FYI, you will pull things through.
Right through. Right through the wall. So you heard mega stuffed Oreo and you just decimated that
Totally
leaf.
distracted me.
See,
It was the mega stuffed Oreo.
I'm having a hard time making a convex center here. I just can't seem to, you know what? I'll just put this one layer in and then I'll pull the second ones up higher. It's hard to let yourself pull really high.
Yep.
It's hard. My brain doesn't want to let,
Maybe put one loop in the center that's really high.
You're
so
right,
That you have to.
as like a
You
benchmark.
have to
I want to do punch needle.
compare.
Oh, you want to do punch needle? Well, I sure wish I brought my punch needle. We got other crafty rafties you can do.
Are you going to take a punch needle in?
I am hooking. This is a hook. I wish I brought my punch needle because you could be doing some demonstrations
What do you
there.
think?
Oh, that looks great. Oh, those leaves are folding
So-
in on themselves.
So they're
How do
gonna
you do the flower?
This is what we're doing a video on. You want to sit down?
see.
You sit next to Heather.
I'm cutting pieces, Joss.
I was doing my reading, but I can do that.
Yeah, you can take a break from school.
I'm cutting pieces. Just cutting pieces and pulling them through to make the petals of the leaves and some actual leaves. It's called Proddy.
Jocelyn, do you want to cut some leaves out and Mama will try to hook them?
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Here, don't use the nice blazer stuff. Come use Mama's scrap bag over
That's
here.
fine. She can.
You picked your color? Now what do you think? This is off limits. That's already spoken for. Now you want to do leaves of green? You want to do pistachio green beans? Or do you want to do, like, this is a mottled multi?
Should I do
Ooh.
petals or leaves?
It's up to you. But make sure that they look like Heather's.
I want to make a sunflower.
Do it. Do it.
Oh, I remember this was the sprinkles, right?
It was a sprinkled one. I think the coffee got that one. I hope it was the coffee because there's a bunch of brown splatter on there.
No, I thought this was from like remember like the sprinkles we had?
Oh my gosh, you're right. The chocolate sprinkle adventure. Yeah,
Your
If-
Halloween chocolate
that's
sprinkle
right.
adventure.
Yeah, the chocolate sprinkle video.
I tried to cut them.
Now I
Yeah.
fold my wool in half,
Jess.
and then I'm folding multiple layers,
That's what
Okay.
I'm doing.
so I can do more than one at once. That's just
All right, that's a good tip. So Joss, did you see that?
Saves me a little bit of time.
So did you see what Heather just did with foldies? If it's not too tough to cut through, right? So you folded it twice or 4 times?
I folded mine 3 times actually.
Okay. Oh, that's quite an accordion. Look at
So I'm
that.
getting
Interesting.
Can you
3.
help
3
me?
little mustaches.
These are pretty narrow.
Can you help me fold it?
Absolutely.
So it
Let's do it. Let's do it in this direction, just a little bit, right? Are you helping Mom with them, or are you going to do something yourself?
I'm helping Mom.
Yeah, I'll hook her
Do you want?
petals.
So we need big petals because we're doing a bigger flower, right?
Yeah.
So you see what I did? I folded it up because they're going to be that tall.
So like kind of rolling folding it.
That's gonna be tough to cut.
You want to just do one at a time? We can do one at a time.
I'll try to do that.
We can do one at a time.
Honey. She's a game girl. Give it a shot. I'm still not getting these loops high. I will. I'll get there. Maybe I'm not cut out for Waldoboro anything. It's hard, man. It's fun trying though.
Okay.
I think I need
So
sharp.
we want the shape to come to a point here. So it
I
goes
think I
around.
need sharper
You can use these,
scissors.
just don't get your face in between those 2 blades because those will cut anything.
Do you want me to draw the shape on there for you, Joss?
Sure.
Actually, let me draw it on a piece of paper for you.
We're using duct tape for the cake.
We are using duct tape for the camera because I forgot my stand. We wanted to be sure the camera stood up there so that people could see down on the table. This is coming along, all right?
Alright, so that's gonna kind of be the shape. Let's see. Because I don't want to draw on your beautiful yellow wool.
Oh, you can draw on it. It's battered with chocolate jimmies. The nice thing about this project is I'm working on a poinsettia, right? Well, stylized. I know it's supposed to have a yellow center. I like it better pink on pink on pink. But you could, I mean, you could do
I
anything.
think we're gonna have to do a single layer sweep.
Yeah.
Joss is doing her sunflowers, so that's much more summery. I mean, you could do Van Gogh flowers, couldn't you? You could just do crazy blue flowers with orange centers or whatever you wanted. No reason why you shouldn't have a Van Gogh wreath on your front door.
Absolutely.
So it's just a great way to play, hook. I've seen people use these Proddy flowers also for like pins, like lapel pins and stuff,
Absolutely.
hair stuff. Ooh, you're brave, Heather.
I'm just trying to get the.
Would it be easier for you if I drew it on the wool?
Yeah.
Yeah, then just cut
Let's
it
do
out.
that.
And then you can just flip it over, and then you don't.
So that's gonna work too, because if there's any issue with it not being perfect, I can always trim it after I pull it through, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And flowers, you know, they can be however you want them to
Yeah,
be.
flowers aren't perfect. Only the artificial ones are perfect.
I'm gonna draw another one over here, Josh.
Okay. How many pounds do you think we're gonna need to feel one of your circles?
Well, you know, I could always make a slightly smaller circle. I kind of went over the top on the size of the circles. So, I don't know, what do we think? Maybe 12, 14, 20, 35?
Petals?
67.
Yeah.
We need 67.
Get going, Joss. She's gonna know the words.
This one might be easier for you to handle, Joss. Try that one now that we only have one layer. You're gonna do that one?
Yeah, there she goes. Children and art.
Okay,
You know, those really aren't the best scissors. I'm so sorry. Do you want to use the little guys, the little Fiskars? Those were good, but they need to be sharpened at this point. I've abused them terribly over the years. Now this little video we're doing now is an extension of Coffee Time. We were pixelated in Coffee Time, so we didn't stick with it because it's just too stressful to know whether or not you can see anything that we got going on. But this is an extension of Coffee Time. We wanted to do the Poinsettias today because we're in the new space, and just a nice holiday project. Everybody's always looking for something to do with all those scraps and leftover bits. So yeah, it's fun to find. You feel so validated when you save your scraps and then you're actually able to use them.
Absolutely. And if it's somebody that's new,
Yeah,
like this is
my
my very first project was the sunflowers with the Proddy.
Yeah,
That was my very first introduction to rug hooking.
it's, you know, in a way it's brave because using anything shaped it's just a bit of an added layer of possible difficulty. But you didn't struggle with it at all, and you really enjoyed it. So
I didn't.
it
I
led
liked
you
it.
right in.
I liked it, and you know, I'm not aware of the rules when I first started, so
Well, that's a good
I
thing.
didn't realize I was breaking them.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right.
These
So I'm adding some
they
more
were work,
leaves.
but now they're like kind of.
I think we're having mechanical failure, Joss.
I don't.
Scissors that don't cut. That's like pens that don't write, printers that don't print.
Do you want to use my scissors? My scissors are bent a little bit. See how my scissors are bent to the left a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
They'll make a nice shape.
That was
Give you
that was
a
the way
natural
that I
curve.
bought them. They were bent. I don't know if they were meant to be bent.
They might
or
be
they
good
got-
for paper cutting.
These
they got-
work way better.
Oh, good.
Just cut like.
Good. Eventually, we were going to find a pair of scissors that cut. Now, I'm being very naughty on my flower center, and I'm doing the golden rule. I'm leaving all my tails underneath.
Absolutely.
What's the point of having my tails on top? It's just going to look all ratty.
That is totally what I
My
do.
2 petals.
That is totally what I do.
Yeah.
So now I've added quite a few leaves in, which in your poinsettia would be,
Oh no.
there would
Wow.
be many, many leaves.
That's standing out so well. That's such a good three-dimensional
And I am not doing a background on this one. I'm just going to leave it. So,
It's looking great.
yeah.
This is really fun. I mean, you could really do with the amount of hoops that you have, right? Because she just got like a haul, like a garbage bag of hoops, tons.
I am the queen of goodwill, and yes, I bought a bag of hoops that are probably pretty old because I believe they have Ames stickers on them.
Oh my gosh, how
Do you
funny
remember
is that?
Ames?
Yep.
Stores.
Oh yeah.
So I'm guessing based on the Ames
Yeah.
sticker,
They've been defunct for a while.
they've
I
been
think.
around for quite some time.
Yeah.
So,
But it's nice to have all of them because they do make an instant frame. And if you did put a bunch of little flowers that you did on the wall, you know, I love your background with the snowy background too. That is just really cute. But also spring colors in the background. Yeah, you could do a whole wall of these little frames.
and you could do seasonal ones and just change them up. You know,
Yeah, you could. You definitely could.
seasonal decor. Use your scraps of backing. You know, this backing was
Yeah,
something
too
I
small
bought.
for anything else.
I bought on clearance. So
Oh, that's right. Say, tell where you got that. What at the
Fraser.
Fraser. Okay.
I had sent the thing to Fraser to get a blade because I bought my cutter.
Oh yeah. You
And
got,
I
you got your little
needed a 6 blade.
Yeah.
So when I was ordering that from them, I looked in their clearance area, and she had a bag of
I'm
scraps,
confused.
and I got a
I'm
bunch of
confused.
scrap backing
I
that
don't know
probably
what
were
to
cut
do
off
with
of
that.
other projects, right?
Probably.
Good job,
It's a great
Joss.
part.
I don't
She's
get
getting
this.
frustrated.
You don't want to cut them. You don't want to cut them in half. You want them to be one piece.
I'm
That-
trying
that-
to, but
that's-
when I
That's
Oh,
why we
like that?
folded it. That's
Okay.
why we had it folded.
So we accidentally cut one in half, but you know what? We can turn this into one
Small-
leaf and still use it.
Absolutely.
So
That's why we folded it in
And
half because we want it to be one piece.
I
Do you like
did,
that?
but then it did something.
There you go.
It like unfolded, and I
Okay.
didn't realize.
Okay, you got it.
And when I folded it, it just
Cut the rest away around that shape.
you know, it might be good to just cut it out, you know, as close as you can, and then clean up the lines later, right? Because it's hard to cut it perfectly out of 2 layers.
There you go. You got it.
See, this is a good project
You
for
gotta
kids
move-
too,
You
right?
gotta move the wool. Absolutely.
It's a really good project for kids.
Absolutely.
Really nice.
Perfect. Look at you.
Da-da-ba-ba-chicka-cha. Good job, Joss. You got a mustache.
Nice.
Got a mustachio going.
Nice. You got it going on. And these can just be, I mean, we can make this smaller ones
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
that'll be gorgeous.
do you want to
Good
use
job,
this?
Joss.
I will use it in just a memento. I think I need a lot though, Joss. I think I need a lot.
Can you help me draw more?
I sure can.
Oh, honey, you're so sweet. You want me to help her?
I sure can.
I'm planning to use this entire thing to make petals for a bunch of flowers.
It'll be good. I kind of like the brown spots on it too. I am not doing that dome thing. I'm not doing it. But it's still
I'm going to
very
suggest
pretty.
the next one, start in the middle and make
Yes!
them nice and high
Okay,
and work out.
so I'm not done. Oh my god, I just had another idea. This might yet be okay. So yeah, my dome thing isn't really working. It's quite pretty. It looks quite pretty. I've got several colors in there, but I didn't dome it out. Yeah, I don't know what it is about pulling a really, really, really high loop. My hand doesn't want
I
to.
haven't done rug hooking in so long.
I know, you need to get back to it. And you know, your punch thing is in the car. Your punch thing from Heather, I put it in the car because I brought it to Gami's house.
Oh.
So it's still out there. I can grab that. But finish your Proddy project first.
All right, I'm going to trace a couple more for you, my dear.
And
Don't lean on this because I don't think it's meant to support all of
No,
us.
no, we got to get some support under there.
Wait, where's the blade?
That leaf is definitely not as strong as the center of the table, my friend.
Now remember, if you are drawing with a marker directly on wool or backing or whatever, it is a good thing to use a black Sharpie.
Where's the blade?
Black or blue, the other ones will run and
You
smear
wanna cut that
and
one?
everything.
Where's
Permanent or
the-
not, they will.
The scissors?
Oh no, we lost the little, oh boy, here we go. The elf on the shelf got the scissors.
The white scissors have vanished.
It's our only good pair of scissors
Where
too.
did they go, Jess?
Oh, seriously?
Okay, they could not have gone far, Miss Joss.
Holy mackerel.
It's a little tiny pair of scissors.
This is impossible. Are they
Oh,
under
right here.
Oh my god. If they was a snake
There you
jaws.
go.
They're blended in. They're just blended in.
They did. They blended in with that white wool, you're right. So you cut that one and then we'll fold it and do some more, okay?
Doesn't it seem like, as far as crafts go, thinking about like the Waldoboro stuff and women going to fairs and bringing the stuff they made, doesn't it seem like everything has been done?
Absolutely.
And there's like no possibility. I mean, you can do something new, you do your own design, but it seems like maybe every kind of craft or variation on craft probably has been done
It may well have been.
with what we have so far. I mean, we haven't done any plasma crafting or anything like that, or, you know what, with substances that are yet unknown, unavailable, whatever.
Yes.
But with what we have, we might have
Yeah,
hit
small
some kind of a
ones,
glass
but they're
ceiling.
really cute.
Well, I think one of the things you were talking about in crossing over,
I
having a
love
lot of
this.
things cross over into each other now
Yeah.
is not a
I
bad
love
thing.
It is. It's
you
like
know?
a fusion
This is
time.
now my.
You know, because hooking with yarn
I
Yeah.
want to make something like that.
to
'cause it
people that
looks-
are purists in the hooking groups,
Yeah, it's really different.
they strictly want to hook with wool,
Yeah,
and not with yarn.
And
so
there will always
it's
be
kind of-
those.
kind
Yeah.
of we're breaking a little bit of a rule doing that here,
It is.
but it gives it a better texture. So we're sort of interpreting.
And there will always be those people that when they hear about somebody who prefers punch needle, they don't consider that, the same caliber of rug making as hooking. And that's just not true. That's just an unacceptable assumption, I think. But yeah, there's always going to be that sort of pushback from what is considered traditional to like what is acceptable and considered art. All the things that are newer struggle a little bit more to get that same kind of footing as acceptable as being a higher art. At the end of the day, who cares? But some people care.
Well, I think taking things like rug hooking and teaching it to younger generations, I think that's an awesome thing
I might need smaller
to keep it going.
It's an awesome thing because it's not about making rugs, is it? I mean, do you have any rugs down that you made? I mean, all my stuff is on the wall, and some people do actually, make rugs, and that's awesome. But it's not about rug making. It's about making something creative and original with a craft that is so not messy, not difficult to learn, very forgiving. It's about that. More than
And I
anything.
think with the groups, it's about building a community, especially this year.
Yeah, that's true.
We need a community.
Yeah.
We need a positive community, and
That's right. Well, it's so fun to read about the women back in the day who would sit and have hooking bees together and teach each other and talk, because we're living in a time, even with the internet, where people can be so secretive about things that they know that they do not want to share with other people. They want to keep that weird edge, and that is
After I do this row,
counterproductive
I want to try to do
and
the
bad
thing
karma.
that you're doing with like 3 at a time, but I want to do 2 at a time.
okay, we can try it.
Oh, that looks so nice.
Let's do this.
I'm going to do some 3-dimensional hooking in between my little yarn loops now. That's how I'm going to bring some comic
that's
relief.
right. That's what
Yeah.
you did with the sunflowers too.
It was because the one time I did one flower, I did the same thing. I had trouble pulling, I was going to say getting it up. I had trouble pulling really high up in the center to do that effect. And I'm finding it just as difficult this time.
I think because you spent so much time trying to make them perfectly even.
You think?
That's how
You're
that's
right.
how you're taught to hook.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a learned thing to try and do them not all the same height.
It's a good point. It's a good exercise. This is a good exercise for shutting your head off and forcing your hand to do something that your head is trying to stop it from doing. So yeah, this kind of blatant rule breaking. But then you do think about, oh Joss, you're on fire, lady. This lady's on fire. Look at all these little.
Wow, so
Flippity
nice,
flaps.
Joss.
Yeah, when I think about the School of Canadian Hookers, how they, have for years and years been hooking such an uneven surface, so many different materials, so many different heights, such variety. It really is, it is something new. You know, they've pushed it to an extreme hooking.
Absolutely.
And it looks amazing. You know, it might for the first 5 minutes look messy, but then it looks amazing. You just have to give yourself that hot minute that everybody talks about.
I made some.
Wow,
Look at you.
Joss, those are so pretty. So you know what, just to make you happy, as I just cut 2 more and let me get one more little thing going here.
Well, I can only cut one more, but
Oh, I see, with your, yeah, finish that up, and then I'm gonna put some around the
Want me to
edge.
draw it for you?
nope. Where's it?
Now I know you're supposed to hook the center
Oh,
first.
yeah.
I'm just gonna put one through to show Jossie how it looks. You know, maybe I will, maybe I'll put the camera on pause for a minute. I can finish hooking this guy. Do a time check. What is it, 1:30? That's all right. We got time. We got time. We gotta drop off the Christmas, I got gift certificates for the kids' teachers. And I wanna drop those off at the school too, before they take a break, because I don't feel good about dropping gift certificates at the front desk, because you know they're gonna get lost and they're like cash, so.
Absolutely.
It's like super stressful. Had to get the tip in the mail lady's hand in case a replacement came today, picks up her tip for the whole year, you know. All these silly things that happen at the holidays. All these little wars.
What do you think, Joss?
I love it.
Oh my God.
I wish
Yeah.
I had it in my room.
You know what?
Yeah, these ones that I did without the thing in the center, they're actually lifting higher off of the backing.
Okay, because of that shape, the
So-
single petal shape.
Because it's not narrow in the middle,
Yeah.
I
it's
kinda
giving it a
messed
little more
up
body.
I messed up the last one.
I think it looks great. Well, I bet you didn't mess up.
I think it looks great. I think we
Put it
can
in
do
the
one more
pile.
here. You wanna do one more?
Yeah, but I want to try to do the 2 at a time.
Well,
Jinxies.
here's the thing.
Because I have these.
You need a bigger petal.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna be able to fold it and do that and get a big petal.
Yeah, that's gonna be if wishes were horses.
So we're gonna have to do, we're not gonna be able to do 2 on there. We're only gonna be able to do 1.
It's fine.
Good enough. So as soon as Joss cuts out that flower, I'm gonna do the no-no. I'm just gonna hook it for fun to see what shape we've got. But you know, because Heather's already told us, that you will get the best result if you hook the center first, right? And if you're doing a background, if it's not a standalone, if you're doing a background, hook the background too. And put your Proddy in last, because you'll get the easiest method, right? It's just a
Yes.
question of making it easy getting the thing in, the
Yes.
irregular shape in there.
So the dimensional stuff goes in last,
Okay, that's a really good tip.
because otherwise you're gonna be struggling.
Now, are you gonna show your other great tip with the,
Oh, yes.
Jen, I just.
So
I
purely
absolutely
by
destroyed
accident
the
last night, I discovered this. So, branch.
now what
Number
did you
4.
clip that whole thing? Oh, you did
Nope,
clippies, no?
nope,
Are they
this is not-
loops?
This is not clipped, these are loops.
Oh, that
This
is so
was
nice.
a plaid or tweed.
Very nice.
So this is 4-cut, part of my green blazer.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is going right up to where the branch is, and I'm pulling really long loops.
Really, okay, really long
And
loops.
I'm actually going into part of the branch in between the loops of the branch and pulling really long loops.
I think that's the key, the really long loops.
Long loops. Deanna might struggle with
Get away
this.
from the ladder, get away from the ladder. I will definitely struggle with that. Sorry for the crazy aside.
Super, super long loops.
Super long loops.
Not that insanely long.
Still quite long.
But
Oh, see, that looks so pretty.
long loops.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to put in a series of long loops. Some, as I said, right into the tweedy color.
Right next
In
to it. In it?
In between.
In between, okay.
Several of the loops.
So that's your branch, right? You're going in
This
between
is
the
my
branch loops.
yeah. So I'm doing right at the edge of the branch and in between the loops of the branch. And I'm going to do a whole series of these together.
Wow, they are big loops, but they're skinny strips, like a 3 or a 4,
It's a
right?
4. Yeah, it's
Very
a 4.
nice. It looks like a little present. You know, it looks like little ribbons coming up.
I have gotten used to using the 4 because I like a lot of detail.
The 4 is nice.
I am not a
You're not a 3 person.
primitive. I'm not a primitive hooker yet.
Yeah.
Someday I might be.
Well, just different. Apples and oranges.
Okay. All right. So, crazy high loops.
Those are high loops.
Crazy high loops.
Those are like Waldoboro loops, really. If you make loops that height, then you do your hoving with your scissors, right? That's what you mean.
I am about to do that. I didn't realize it was called hoving.
It's called hoving.
I was doing this last night
Look at the effect.
to try and make.
That's the extra stuff. Storio. We should make some cookies named Storios. People would buy them by mistake, don't you think? They would have so much stuffing that there would be a story written into the frosting.
Oh my goodness.
Once upon a time, roses are red.
All right.
By
So.
the time they
Don't say something naughty.
So after I pulled these really crazy high loops, I was trying to make it look like an evergreen,
Oh man.
and purely by chance, I decided I was going to clip them.
Ooh, okay. They also look nice as loops. It's a tough call.
But they don't look like an evergreen
No,
tree.
this
until
really
you-
looks like a tree.
Until you clip them
Wow.
and sort of manipulate them. So then it looks like pine needles.
That looks like a little evergreen, like a pine tree
Yes.
with those little bristly fronds, right? They're
Do you
called
smell
fronds.
that?
Do I smell what? Okay. Cookie.
Smell it.
Yeah.
It smells weird.
That's really smart because again, for a beginner, if you were, that looks almost Asian, right? With like, it looks like brushwork coming out of it.
Yes.
If you were doing something simple, like it didn't have a pattern and you just wanted to run some tree branches across your backing, and then you did that with the Proddy and trim them like that, what great success that would be for your first project.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing idea.
And it gives it the dimension, and it definitely gives it the
Wow, hold it way up there. That is too good. That's a really good effect. Because I always think about Proddy being flowers. But
Yes.
now you've got pine needles.
Absolutely.
Why
And
not?
when you add a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, you could even add a pine cone coming off of the branch.
Oh, with real
which
texture.
was part of my plan.
Yeah.
That was how I ended up with this, because I had added a pine cone to this and then
Oh, yeah,
decided I didn't like the pine cone.
Okay.
So
So you evolved it. You immediately evolved it. That's great. problem
necessity is the mother of invention,
solving.
right?
That's right. Who said that? That had to be somebody really smart, famous.
No clue.
Hmm.
You are the history buff.
I am. That's gonna drive me nuts. Where's my phone? That's gonna drive me nuts.
Your phone is
Oh, my phone's recording us. I'm not touching it. We'll have to be in suspense over that. Where's my phone?
I can look it up on my phone if you'd like. Now I've gotten myself caught in my bracelet.
I wonder if it was Benjamin Franklin.
Don't know. Necessity is the mother of invention. He might have been the one that said that.
Something like that, or Jefferson, something like that. It's probably someone who invented stuff.
Could have been. I have totally got my sweater caught in my bracelet.
Oh, classic.
Big ol'.
Heard a big boom. I hope that wasn't Jess.
Wanna go check on her?
I'll go check. Oh, no, she's here. Joss? So
Josh,
hard to
you
tell.
okay?
Because there's 2 personal trainers on both sides of us. So today, pixelation was our problem, not sound. But I can feel the ground moving, so that means one of the personal trainers is exercising. Isn't it funny how you can only exercise with music blasting? I don't have that built in.
I don't have that problem.
No.
Mostly because I don't exercise.
Well, that's a good way to avoid the really loud music.
Mostly because I don't exercise.
Sounds Sounds like
That's
Big
my
Spender. I
excuse.
just heard bump, bump, ba-dum. That would be okay for me to play loud. But whatever they normally play, it's just not okay. They should need a special permit for playing such bad music. And here we are in
It's
here
amazing.
eating
It's
overstuffed.
amazing how our parents probably thought our music was horrible too.
Oh, God, I know my
Right?
dad thought
Turn
Def Leppard
it
was
down.
like the Antichrist, you know?
Turn it down.
God, yeah. And of course, their parents thought like Elvis was terrible.
Scandalous.
Totally scandalous. I guess everything since like the long-haired music of like the classical musicians has been considered a step down.
Absolutely.
Strange. Because I truly hate the music that the kids listen to.
Oh yes.
I keep trying to get them into the Beatles and stuff like that, and I know they're not going to go toward my show music instinctively, but the stuff that they're listening to that they just find online is like, man, it gives me
I
stomach
find
bumps.
when you can hear the bass when they're driving,
Yeah,
you hear them coming long before you see them.
yeah, it's never a song I like in the
Right.
summer when someone pulls up
So
next
I
to you.
added a little bit more.
Oh wow, that's really fluffing it out. That looks amazeballs.
A little bit of a different color maybe.
You know what I'm going to do while Joss is over there doing what? A headstand?
She was doing something on her computer.
Oh, she
I'm
was-
not sure what she's
She
doing.
might have been doing work on her computer. I'm going to run some stuff through my bliss cutter. And I'm going to do a center of her flower. Let's see. Whoops, I just changed the blade on this. Heather brought, what did you bring out? You brought a 6 or 5?
Mine is probably on a 4.
Alright, so I brought the 8. I changed heads to an 8 so that we both had our little blisses going. It's funny, I used one of these in class the other day, and not everybody had seen the bliss in motion. I normally use my Sissics because I'm normally cutting 60 strips at once. But this is a nice little thing. Gotta get the tension right. There we go.
Absolutely.
It's nice to cut as you go too, you know, because then you don't get they don't get in a big bag of my next project kind of thing. You put it down for 6 months, and when you take it out again, it's all ratty. If you cut as you go, you just don't have that. But the thing about cutting as you go is like you need to sit up from the couch, you know, to use the machine.
Absolutely.
Or not.
Balancing it on your lap is not a good thing.
No.
Ask me.
No, that's why you're getting the little suction cup feed, huh?
I did order the suction cup feet, yes. Alright, so I added in a little bit of the lighter green to give it a little dimension.
Oh, that makes a big change. So there's
Yeah.
like
I mean, I would imagine if you
sage.
used like a mottled green.
Ooh,
but,
like this
you
one.
know.
Do you want some of this one?
Maybe.
If it appeals, don't feel pressure. But if it appeals, yeah, you know, your little scraps of multi-mottled dyed stuff is going to be really good for these projects.
This
Yeah,
direction
crazy
or
nice.
this direction, does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
This direction.
I'm gonna go around the semicircle a little bit, and then I'm gonna try doing Joss's leaves. I would have preferred anything but yellow, but it is what it is. I thought for sure she'd go for bright pink, but she doesn't like pink. It's Teddy who loves pink. Joss is more of a blue and black and blue girl. She is actually a black and blue girl. After that crazy fall she took in the bathtub last night doing gymnastics instead of brushing her teeth.
Trying to scare the daylights out of Mom in the bathtub.
Whew, I did not handle that well at all. It was like, if the police came, it would have been because I was screaming, not because someone got hurt, you know? I thought I was ready for the insane asylum the way I was screaming.
Natural with children that you learn how to scream.
You're supposed to keep it calm though, aren't you? You're supposed to keep
well.
your jazz together. Start going out of my mind, making everybody cry because I'm screaming so loud. Not good, not good. These are weird days though, aren't they? That's not a good excuse. Just spending a lot of time with kids at home.
Yes, 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 yes. I never ever thought I would be at home this much.
Yeah,
Very weird, weird time.
it's not, it doesn't make you zen, does it, being at home all the time?
No,
Particularly with
which is
kids.
part of the reason that I started doing these things.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah,
and part of the reason I think that you're being on daily is helping a lot of people.
Yeah, well, a lot of people,
because people need that.
yeah, people are so bored and lonely, and it's, you know, it is one of the good things that's come out of it, right? Because even though the world will, one presumes, return to normal, there'll always be distance for us that do this hobby. There's not tons of us that do this hobby. There'll always be distance. So in a way, it's nice that we've established a connection, and that we can, if we can't meet in person every weekend and go to Hookins, then we can meet this way and do this stuff. But at the same time, there are a lot of people from Connecticut around. So if you are around and you want to come and hang out with us here, and if you want to show something that you do that we don't know yet, like, do you know how to do braiding?
No.
Okay. See, I don't. I only know basic. I would love to. I know there's a few people that do. Remind me who you are. I would love to do braiding or see braiding together. I would love to work on it with somebody who's used to doing it. I know Christine does at Westfield. I'm gonna have to get on her case. Let me make sure we're still recording. Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, still recording. You know what? I'll put it on pause for a minute until we have some finished products to show.
Okay.
All right. Pause. All right. You're turning that back over. And I'm shooting back around.
I'm just
oh
putting
my
the thing at
God.
the top.
You have to put that right in the camera. That is too good. While you are working away, oh my gosh, you have to show, wait a minute,
The
is that
branch?
pine cones? The branch. God, that came out so good. I'm gonna hold it right
I
up.
didn't do any more of it. But.
No, it looks amazing. She added the sage celery color that adds like a bristly. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Such a good effect, right? It was really easy. Those are just little strippies. And then your poinsettias came out great. We've had the camera off for like 15 minutes. Looks great.
And I moved the hinge to the top.
These would be so good as ornaments too.
Yes.
I mean, really
Yes.
good, right?
I mean, I'm gonna leave this in the hoop.
Yeah.
I can't have a Christmas tree because of my cats.
You do have two lively cats.
But I am going to hang this
Hanging it up.
somewhere where they can't reach it, preferably.
Yeah, I love it.
Preferably.
Well, I got this done, and I didn't do, I added lots of loops to that, and I just worked this one because I'm preparing for Jossie's flower. She just cut me those petals. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull my first petals through. So now I'm folding it in half, and I'm coming right up to the edge, to the edge. All
Right at the very edge.
And I'm
of
pulling
your
like,
center.
am I feeling just one and pulling one through?
I would try and get it at the center, and then you
Okay.
can pull. Then you can pull the
All right, so I got it.
petal through.
Yeah, I got the center right. And I'm in the monk's cloth now. Jossie cut these pretty thick,
It's a
huh?
little. It's a little fiddly.
Yeah, it's
It's a
fiddly,
little
right?
fiddly.
Yeah, let's take two. I got a really big hook, and it's a good grabber. Jiminy cricket. Don't say bad words, Mama. I don't want to rip the monk's cloth over this, right? That would be something else. Jossie would not be happy. There we go.
There you go. And then just pull one side.
I'm gonna pull with my
You do it with
finger.
your fingers because to try and do it with the hook, you're gonna.
I'm just going to
probably
put
rip
the
your
pieces.
wool.
Yeah, Jossie cut some big pieces. So this is extreme Proddy.
Yeah, I would hold one petal at the bottom and then
Okay.
pull the other petal because
There
otherwise
we
you're gonna
go.
pull it all the way through.
There we go.
I love it.
Giving birth to the Proddy. And then you move over a couple of these
Couple
guys
spots.
and pulling through again. So yeah, she's cut them real thick, but she's such a little sweetheart. I gotta at least try to get her petals through here. She's gonna be really pleased when she sees this. I'm not
It's
close enough to
definitely-
the edge, huh?
It's definitely gonna qualify as a workout to do.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. The monk's cloth is very tight, and these are a little too thick. I might thin the other ones out without somebody knowing, just to pull them through a little easier. But for this one,
I think that that's what a Proddy tool is
yeah.
made to do, pull through the thick pieces.
Don't you think that's really thick, though?
That's extremely thick,
I mean,
yes.
if that were a strip, that
Yes.
would be like a 99.
But see,
But it
the
looks great.
width at the bottom is giving them good dimension.
You know, you're right.
It lifts them well off of the background.
It does. And then where's those cute little? I can use these. I don't have such trouble. I love her petals, but I'm just going to trim off because of course it did take a bit of a beating being born there. So let me just do some of this. She won't know. There. And I can do it over here too.
Nice.
Yeah. She cut them out pretty, I mean, they're not bad. She
The
cut them out
spots were-
okay.
Yeah, she did really well.
Here we go. You can see that. It's really pretty. So I'm going to be struggling with those. Probably not right now, but you can see they're going to come out great.
Did you show them the dimension that you did in
Yeah,
your
let me
second?
come around here. The second one I did a bit more dimension. I still kind of pooped it out after a while. It's a little bit higher than this one is. I tried to do what Heather said and pull the center one really tall. So it's almost like a mini volcano happening there, but like it's not as high as I wish it was. I want it high like this, So on my next one, I'm going to do that.
You could put a backing on it when you put a backing on it and stuff
Yeah,
over your scraps.
That's true.
make
I
it
can
more
force it out a bit. You can see
Sure.
this one is the tallest one. But I'm getting better. This is an improvement over this in terms of wanting that height. But you can see when you do pull through those large flowers, they automatically do this very natural looking pleat or crease, and they look great. So I'm going to be layering those around. You can see how close I got to it, just like Heather said, right up against your finished loops. So I think Joss is going to be quite pleased with that, especially when I get them all filled out. And I'm going to do my others here. But for now, I'm going to sign off here so we can post this video and watch it later. And I will show you when I finish stuff. Let me show your stuff close up because yours just came out so good. The poinsettias, this one and this one. I know you don't like this one, but they're still very pretty. And then the evergreen branch. She's gonna put a little pine cone coming down there. So that's so cute too. So Proddy, final word on the subject. Super easy, super fun, super fast.
Great
very
scrap
scrappy.
buster.
Yep, great for kids. I mean, it just super fun. It's super fun.
And I would typically do 2 rows of the petals around it to give it a little more dimension. If you're not gonna do a background around it,
Yeah,
I would do 2 rows.
Yeah.
2 rows of the petals.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the 2 rows because with this one, I'm gonna do these 2 things. I almost grabbed that. I might want to put white in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But she's already got this one very autumny, so I'll have to pick out what other colors I might want to go for. I might go for a blue with that or something. But yeah, I'm going to cut these out and turn them into ornaments or something. I feel like I'd use them more if they were more 3-dimensional and not in a backing. Although I can now see using them in a backing because they really do look nice. Really nice. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us for
everybody.
coffee time. A little touch of Waldoboro with our Proddy flowers. Have a great afternoon, everyone.